info about me. I'm currently in my 50s. I've been married for over 30 years and have 3 adult kids. I'm also a disabled vet and a survivor of 16 brain surgeries. So when my health holds up, I try to make up for lost time and I go exploring. This is the first of at least 5 videos about my first trip to Japan. Upon arrival, I make quick work of customs with my QR code from Visit Japan web for customs, then grab a Welcome Suica card so I can tap in and out of most JR trains, then head for Ueno. I chose Ueno based on some YouTube research and because it's on the Yamanote line, which circles Tokyo. Very convenient. Yes, I'm over 6'3", or around 192 centimeters, so I realize this trip will have certain challenges. But I don't mind using business hotels since they're cheap and come with everything I need for the stay. Having available toiletries and jammies waiting can save packing space. Granted, checking the fit on the yukata style PJs they provided was a little tough for me. Since I was up early thanks to the jet lag, I decided to head out. Now, most businesses open around 10 in Japan, but there's plenty to do in the meantime, like heading to Ueno Park, which is situated right behind Ueno Station. The signage made navigation very easy, so I headed up the steps and into the park to see what I could see. Many parks scattered throughout Tokyo are surprisingly peaceful islands, and the noise of the city, as you can hear. One interesting location in Ueno Park is the Kan'ei-ji Temple Complex, with its 5-story pagoda. It's situated right next to Toshogu Shrine, which was built in 1627 and is dedicated to the first Tokugawa shogun, Tokugawa Ieyasu. Here's a little better look at the 5-story pagoda and a good look at the Toshogu Shrine. The park is abundant in shrines, and each is just as beautiful as the last. It's worth meandering around and seeing what you can see. Now, many people try to get to the bamboo forest in Kyoto to take their selfies with the rows and rows of Tori gates there. But Gojoten Hanazono Inari Shrine in Ueno Park can also fit the bill. Ueno Park also has the Tokyo National Museum and the National Museum of Nature and Science, which has this life-size blue whale out front. Exiting the park near Ueno Station, then right across the street will be Ameyoko Yokocho Market, also known as Ameyoko Market. The shops were just opening up as it was still early, but you'll find an abundance of food stalls and shops. I decided to have a piece of fresh fruit, but if you're looking for chips, there are cod roe Pringles to be found. I continued my walk south from Ueno and arrived at Akihabara. I did seek out one of the must-try snacks, the Magicarp Tayaki at Kurikon, only a block from Radio Kaikan. Then it was on to Don Quixote to acquire some souvenirs and send them home to the nieces and nephews. Finding tons of flavors of KitKat and something for everyone. So I threw them in the canvas bag I kept in my backpack, then off to find a post office to ship them home. I have to admit, I always find the flying sidewalks very cool. At this point, it was a quick train ride to get back to Ueno. And as evening approached, the area lit up. I wandered around Ueno a bit and came across Shitaya Shrine. Very cool. But I was a little hungry, so I found a local ramen shop. No, they didn't have an English menu, but good thing for Google Image Translate because the food was great. And they had a guide that included several suggestions of items to add to the ramen, which changed the whole dish. Delicious. I headed back to Ueno Park to walk off some of that dinner and found a festival ongoing. It was the Mid-Autumn Festival with entertainment, lots of food and drink stalls, and then decided to call it a night. The AM weather check showed some typhoon remnants in the south of Japan, but the weather in Tokyo stayed nice, so I hopped on the train to head to Hamarikyu Gardens, located near Tokyo Bay. It's about a 10-minute walk from the nearest train station, but I was really looking forward to this location. When you arrive somewhere new, I recommend grabbing a picture of the map, pass it through Google Translate, and take a screenshot. Then you've always got a map with you. These landscape gardens contain saltwater ponds that change levels with the tides. You can find a 300-year-old pine, remnants of the moats, and fields of wildflowers. It's gorgeous and very peaceful. I was on my way to the Ochaya, but there's several replica period buildings on the way to explore. The cypress wood bridge to the Teahouse in the middle of the lake is covered with wisteria trellises, and it's a beautiful construction, and it was quite the contrast to the modern skyscrapers surrounding the park. Enjoy the walk. The Ochaya itself is a location where the shogun was entertained and at a rest. They were serving matcha and a seasonal mooncake for the mid-autumn celebration. They were both delicious, and they came with an amazing view. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Wandering the park was rewarding, as it was so well manicured. The moats were intact, and there were many picturesque spots. Fields of wildflowers were right next to a 300-year-old pine believed to be planted by the 6th shogun, Tokugawa Ieyasu, around 1709. At this point, I headed back to the train station to see a few more locations around Tokyo. First stop, Shibuya. Make sure you stop by and say hi to Hachiko. Then I headed up to Shibuya Crossing View. Got a bird's eye view of the Shibuya Scramble Crossing. I was there in September, which is considered off-season, and this was midday. So you can imagine high season and peak traffic times just how crazy this could get. It was just a quick walk down the way to find Magnet by Shibuya 109. In all honesty, I mostly just wanted to have a look around RECOfan. And yes, I did find some things to take home with me. After that, I headed out, hit the Konbini, tried some Japanese milk tea, and really liked it. Then I found myself at Cross Shinjuku Vision. Very cool. Here you'll find a chatty calico on a 3D LED sign. At this point, it was just a 3-minute walk to find Kabuki-cho main gate, which leads you onto Kabuki-cho Ichibangai Street. At this point of the day, I was starting to feel hungry, so I decided to head for Omoide Yokocho, because I wanted to find a izakaya and have a bite of lunch. Many were just opening, but I found a spot and got a chance to enjoy several skewers of grilled pork belly and a yuzu sour. Really good. Then it was off to wander the streets of Kabuki-cho as I was looking for a legendary Japanese creature. As you may have guessed, it's Godzilla. At this point, I hopped back on the Yamanote line, head back to the room, but first grabbed a little convenient dinner of onigiri and oolong. Then the next morning, it was time to check out and head back to Ueno Station. Time to catch my first Shinkansen. I typically buy my tickets well in advance and plan for mid to late morning departures that get me where I'm going just before check-in. The signs there are dual language and it's really not hard to figure out. Here comes the Kagayaki 523 service to Kanazawa, my next location to explore. Time to line up at the gate for my particular car. I grabbed my seat in the green car, which had tons of legroom. I pulled out my snack and was underway. Mid-route, I had my ekiben for lunch. I have to say, the first time you take a Shinkansen and watch the landscape fly by, it is very cool. I've ridden trains across the US and Europe, but I will admit, this was my favorite. If you've made it to this point in my video, I hope you enjoyed the content thus far. This series of videos will cover my solo travels around Japan in the cities of Tokyo, Kanazawa, Kyoto, Hiroshima, Osaka, and Yokohama. I'm taking whatever constructive suggestions you have on what videos you'd like to see in the future. I am planning a video of all the food I tried and where I found it, and perhaps videos of stories of locals glitching a bit when I spoke their languages in a few places around the world. No, I'm not fluent in any other languages than English, but I try to travel what I call basic tourist level knowledge of a language. Just basic pleasantries, common phrases and questions used around restaurants, hotels, convenience stores, train stations, and airports, as well as enough to know how to ask things like Tori wa doko desu ka? Where's the bathroom? And ways to hopefully understand the replies. I currently have another trip planned to Japan soon, and I'll be glad to share my experiences if there's demand. So please feel free to comment on what you liked and if you saw something you want to see again. I'd appreciate if you could spare a like and subscribe to help me grow the channel, and remember, it's a big world. Go see it. Thanks for watching.